A seemingly out of sorts West Ham United took the trip down to the south coast on Saturday to take on Brighton, a side still in the hunt for European football come the end of the season. Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. The pre-season tour for next season rolls on as Graham Potter takes his depleted and divided West Ham team to the Amex. And here to discuss it is Nigel. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Apologies for our lateness and technological issues prevented us being on time, and we are here. But apart from you, Nigel, everyone else has deserted me, right?
Well, I think it ain't the best subject to talk about at the moment, is it, to be fair? Yeah. we are pretty bad, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see who's joining us before we get into the doom and gloom. Mike's not here. No, Mike's got a fever. Mike's ill. Mike is, on the sideline with illness. So let's hope he makes a recovery for Saturday so we can buy me a drink. Looking forward to next season with no players. Absolutely. Could probably do a job in goal. Lost my pace due to age, but then again, our midfield has none either. I reckon we're all in with a shout of getting a call up at this rate.
I'm taking the notes on Saturday, just in case.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Mr. Terry Newsham, hope you are well. Here we go. Did you also miss the Brighton invite, Terry? What invite? Well, I don't think you two are quite qualified as an under-18, so I've had to bear the brunt of what's going to be yet more pain. But there we are. Nigel, thank you very much. In DC, I mean, what other way would I like to spend my Saturday than with you?
Exactly, mate. Sitting with me, complete moaning me head off right the way through the whole game.
Yeah.
What could be better?
I can think of no better way to spend my Saturday afternoon at all. You know, in some field in Brighton that takes an absolute nightmare to get out of, an absolute nightmare to get to. West Ham are going to lose. It's going to be fantastic. And maybe, Nigel, you might get a drink, but I'm going to take a photo.
Well, there's only one of me, so there's a good chance of more. Well, no, it's not actually, because Una's coming.
Oh.
So there might be two of us. But she don't drink, so you're all right, Jake. You're
safe.
That's
all right. That's all right, yeah.
I've actually not, all that about me not drinking, I've actually been drinking lately because...
Maybe that's representative of West Ham.
I'm just like, I've been driven to it by these awful performances and like, it's just... I actually, for one, cannot wait for the season to be over.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be brilliant. Lovely.
I've been having more pleasure watching the championship games, watching the what's going to happen there, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we had a pretty damning result last weekend at home to Southampton. I was halfway back to Stratford when Southampton scored, I'm going to be totally honest. And now... Actually, we were just getting on the bridge and I heard the cheer, just getting on the bridge back to Stratford, and I heard the cheer and I went, that is an away fan cheer if I've ever heard one. 1-0, and people were going perceiving outside, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, listen, it was embarrassing. They were better than us. They probably deserved to win. Nigel, I thought they were much better than us, to be honest. And if you wouldn't have known which team was going down, then you'd have probably said it was us, to be fair.
Well, to be fair, first half, yeah. And then we came out of a little bit of fight in the second half, and Jared scored. And then we looked like we would actually go on and maybe score another one and win the game. I did turn around and say to Una at the time, I said, this is by far the worst victory I'd have ever seen, because we were literally that bad. And then, obviously, he's taken off the forwards.
He made some bewildering substitutions there.
I was thinking to myself, why are you... Fulkrug was actually starting to play all right, a little step over and that, and a touch for it. And he looked all right. And Jared looked like, he'd sort of got the measure of him. And then he took him off, and I was like, what are you actually doing? And then when the balls went up for added time, it was inevitable they was going to score. Yeah. And I was actually on my way down the steps. When he actually scored, and I was like, yeah, it was awful. And if they hadn't, everyone keeps saying it, if the three teams at the bottom hadn't been so bad, we'd have been getting relegated this season.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and I found the subs really weird. It was a complete mishmash, to be honest, because he took Fulkrug off and put Bowen up front. Then 5 minutes later, took Bowen off to put Ferguson up front. It was all rushed and weird, and we ended up with 15 minutes to go, camped on the edge of our own box with 5 at the back, with 3 or 4 centre-halves on the pitch, trying to defend a 1-goal lead against one of the worst teams I've ever seen in Premier League football. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be totally honest. And it was inevitable, as you said, that they were going to go on and score. And I think it's a complete representation of our season. That game epitomises everything that we've done this year. It's just been woeful, disjointed, embarrassing, lethargic. You could attach any adjective to it you like, negatively. And can I see it changing on Saturday? I don't know, to be honest. Probably not.
I actually think we're in for a panning, and it showed how badly we missed Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love Soufal. He's been a great servant to the club, but he's nowhere near the quality of Wan-Bissaka, and we really missed him. We was absolutely awful. We looked terrible. We just didn't look like Scott. That first half, I mean, you think of the players we've got, we shouldn't be struggling to score against a team like Southampton. It's like the players have given up. They don't want to be there. I think Kudus don't want to be there. Paquetá, actually, in fairness, I think he's actually improved a little bit over the past few weeks.
Yeah,
but the players in general don't. They seem to want the season to end as much as we do, because there's no passion, and it's so flat and it's depressing. You know what? Well, we've got 4 games left, 5 games, and I've got tickets for every game, and I'm like, I don't even want to go. That's how bad it is. I'm thinking, well, I've got to go out of principle, but I ain't looking forward to going. It's just I can't wait for the season to be over.
Yeah. I think just getting to the end, get into a bit of, we'll try and make some sort of party at Ipswich before the reality of next season's struggle really sets in. This summer's going to be decisive. It's probably going to be quite painful. We haven't got any money, and a lot of players are going. And probably rightly so, a lot of players are going, but I've just got fears that there isn't many coming the other way through the door. With the amount of money that we've spent over the last three years, the amount of money that's gone out on rubbish, to be totally honest. I mean, our best player that we've signed over the last 3 years is probably, or 2 years at least, is probably Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and paid 15 million quid. The amount of money we've spent on, Fulkrug and all these players. I mean, we've spent so much, and we're seeing nothing come back currently. And listen, you always see in the nose, the Carrot and Hughes come out after negative performances like that with negative stories, and we've seen it this week. We've piled up every player under the sun's leaving: Alvarez, Souček, Kudus, Bowen to Tottenham. Utterly ridiculous. There's been loads of that piled out, and there is an element of truth to it. Yeah, there's a lot of players that will leave the club in the summer, and it's going to be, and I can't tell you what the fabric of the team and what we're going to look like next season, but the fact and reality of it is that depending on how bad or okay and average the teams that come up are, we're in trouble, Nigel.
Well, I'd personally like to see us get rid of a few stars. I'd like to see us get rid of Kudus for good money, because I think he don't play very well for us now. And I think if we got top whack for him, it'll be a result, and we can maybe bring someone else in. I actually have started to warm to Fulkrug. The few games I've seen him play recently, I think he's actually been quite good. And but in reality, we are going to lose a lot of players, but I think we should be looking to bring back Earthy and Potts off of loan and get them in pre-season and get them in the team and get them playing, because I do believe that both those players are quality. I've got a friend who's a Bristol City fan. He said Earthy's absolutely next level. He said he's a Premier League player all day long, which we already knew because we've seen him play. And Potts is pulling up trees at Portsmouth, apparently. So let's get these lads back and get them in the side, and see what they can do. Because some of the, what we've got at the moment is just, like you say, it's so slow and lethargic, and we need a bit of, an injection of pace and a bit of excitement. And, it's just awful to watch.
I said this on my show directly as soon as I got home from the Southampton game last Saturday. I said we're lacking togetherness. We're lacking a leader. I look at Jared Bowen, our club captain currently, and I said this, on the video that I put out. Let's separate captaincy and performances. Jared Bowen has been a brilliant player for the club, right? Fantastic, blah, blah, blah. We get that, absolutely. The fella's not a captain, right? He is not a captain. He's not a leader. And you look around, when things get tough, you don't see our captain, we go to the games nice. You don't see Bowen getting all rallying the troops and, geeing him up and trying to get a bit of energy in it. You don't see it. We're missing a leader. We're missing a Mark Noble. In that team, we're missing somebody that's going to put those heads together and try and muster something. Currently, it's 11 individuals going out there looking like they've never played football with each other, with not really any care in the world, and it just being flippantly poor, to be totally honest.
Who have you got as a club captain? When you look through the team, even with players coming through, who have you got that's been at the club long enough and who's a captain? Well, I mean, what you do, buy a captain? If you buy a captain, he's not going to be West Ham, is he? No. We've had some good skippers at this club over the years. Do you know what I mean? We've had some good captains. We need the likes of Julian Dix, people like that. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, Mark Noble, they were captains of West Ham. Billy Bonds, they were captains. There ain't no one in this team that looks like they could lead the team. No, at all. When you look around other teams, they've got leaders. We've got no leaders there.
And it sums it up when you've got the player that's played like 2 games this season, who's been injured for all of it, coming out in a post-match interview, raging, seething to the point of swearing on his post-match interview, Nicholas Fulkrug, really criticising the mentality in the team and criticising the way we go about things. And listen, I don't think it should be coming from the player that's not played all season. Granted, this should be coming from, this should be coming from the top, not a player that has played in the Champions League final and has got a better mentality, but has played next to nothing all season due to injury. If a player like that can identify that, then what's that say about the rest of the players there? It's spineless, it's weak, it's feeble, and we'll go there on Saturday and to Potter's former club, and we're going to get turned over. We're going to get shown up again. We couldn't beat Southampton at home, right? We should have been beaten by Southampton at home. And I look at that team, and you're bang on, Nigel. There's no leaders there. It's purely a group of individuals, and you've got a team that there's no cohesion there. It's honestly like they meet up on a Saturday afternoon and just have a kickabout every week in it. There's no cohesion to it. There's no understanding of playing style at all. It's like a group of 11 players just meeting up every Saturday and having a kickabout, Nigel.
Yeah, I mean, Fulkrug could probably make a better captain than Bowen at the moment, even because he's got a bit of fight about him. He's got a bit of, a bit of oomph. Yeah. As is Alvarez. I don't know what's going on with him at the club, whether or not.
Well, apparently he's going as well, along with the other 15 players out the door.
I think it's just, you can't just go around just kicking everyone up in the air every game, It's like, which is what he does. He just goes around booting people up in the air, which, is a good thing in a way, but, not as blatantly as, he gives away some stupid fouls and there's a time and a place for it, But you're right, there's no backbone to the team, absolutely spineless. And that showed against a very, very poor Southampton side. That Kyle Walker-Peters, they just kept getting hold of the ball and just running with it. And someone should have just hit him early. Do you know what I mean? But there was nothing. He was allowed to run riot. I mean, the fellow that came to loanee from Chelsea, he was even Chelsea. Was he a loanee that scored that goal?
Who was it that scored? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't.
Begins with C, ends with a U, I think, or something.
I think so, a good. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I think the most alarming thing about it is when I look at our team, the thing that points out to me the most is the midfield. It's the lack of not depth, strength, and ability, and sort of power in the midfield. That midfield on Saturday got dominated by one player, and it's a player that used to wear a West Ham shirt. He completely bullied us, right? No, Flynn Downs.
I didn't even think Flynn Downs was that. I thought the player in that game was Fernandez. I thought he was exceptional. He was absolutely brilliant in that game.
I thought, you know, when I looked at Downs getting on the ball and shoving off James Ward-Prowse or whoever it was there, and I felt that midfield is going down and is the worst.
He ain't hard to dot off the ball.
No.
Ward-Prowse. He's you know what? He's actually done all right since he come back, but we never. I say it time and time again on your shows and from the last season, we never ever really work the ball through the middle of the park like other teams do. We always try and get it wide all the time, just wide to, you know, and once you get that ball wide to Kudus, it can only go one way, and that's inside. As with Jared, he's gonna come inside on his left foot, and people know this. So it's just we just hit it wide, and there's only one way to go from there inside. But when you hit the ball and you play through the middle of the park, there's so many options. Do you know what I mean? Either side of you forward, and it's we just never do it. We ain't got the players that are capable of, you know, of doing it. The only person that's capable of threading the ball through the middle is Paquetá, and he's too busy falling over or going and getting involved in other people's positions and business.
We've got no strength or quality to play it through the midfield, so we're forced to play it out wide and then to mess around with it there and then go back to the centre halves. The quality has disappeared. It's evaporated in that side. And here's a question for you, right? Millwall are in contention to get into the playoffs in the Championship. It's very tightly congested in there. Would you like to see Millwall get in the playoffs, win the playoffs, and come into the Premier League next year, Nige?
I would never like to see them in the Premier League, to be fair. Ever. But they'd beat us at their place. At the team we've got at the moment would get turned over by Millwall. Anyone who's got a bit of balls about them would turn our team over.
Yeah.
Even like League One teams with a bit of spunk about them would not. They would beat West Ham the way we are at the moment because we're spineless, we're gutless. We get beat to the ball where we're not quick enough to it. We don't. I mean, do you know what? I really like Carlos Soler, and I think he plays a bit quickly, but he's just got something that's just missing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? From his game, I don't know what it is, but I think he's a really good player, but he don't quite fit. Do you know what I mean? I think he could be a tremendous.
We've got a lot like that. They just don't quite fit.
It's Kudus, right? He's absolutely. Do you know what? If he was at Liverpool, he'd be brilliant, wouldn't he? Anywhere else, he'd be brilliant. But with us, and I think it's the confidence in the team. Do you know what I mean? We don't.
I think with Kudus, I think we've sucked the life and passion out of him. To be honest, he looks disinterested. He has done all season, right? And he gets played every week because he just does. But I can't remember one really good game Kudus has had all season. One game from start to finish, you go, Kudus bossed that game. Kudus was in control of it and was a threat every time he got the ball. Now, when Kudus gets the ball, you're just waiting for him to lose it. Just completely waiting for him to lose it.
He's so lazy, right?
Yeah.
You've got to play him as a number 10. You've got to put him up there in the centre of the park, just behind the forward. That's where you'd play him. Don't get him involved in any defending or any, do you know what I mean? Just leave him to do what he's good at. Because what he's good at is beating one man and having a shot. Whenever he tries to take it, he'll pick it up deep in our half, and then he'll go past one, then another, and then he'll try and take another one on. Do you know what I mean? Without letting the ball go. And that's what he does. He's strong. Leave him in a, do you know what I mean? Leave him where he's not going to get himself into trouble. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise he's just pointless having him in the team. Absolutely pointless. He's not. You know, how many times have you seen him let a man go this season and they've gone on to score, and people have gone on to score goals because he's just standing there with his back to us, and he's got, oh yeah, okay, someone else can sort that out. That's good as
yeah, absolutely.
Whenever the ball goes near him, when he's within 5 yards of him, he's Ronaldinho. 4 yards from him, he don't want to know, or he's like, I'm not chasing that. Or someone goes past him and he's like, oh, you know what? Let him go.
Absolutely.
I see him all over.
Unfortunately, it is. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Kent says, drained with all the home games. They are dead. The only decent thing about West Ham at the moment is away days. That's because you get good old school fans there to have a good sing-song. You know, there'll be the backing there on Saturday, but it's just out of pure, like, I don't even know what anymore. It's just out of habit more than anything else.
People just want to go and have a beer. Do you know what? Why Brighton's so popular? Because it's a seaside place, so people want to go and have a beer in Brighton. Yeah. That's the only reason. Because who would want to go to that ground? The hassle that is to get there in the middle of the countryside. Get on them trains packed in like cattle, and lose. I mean, do you know what? I've gone there so many times. The only time we won, when it was 3-1, I decided to swerve it and go to the Isle of Wight scooter rally.
Do you know what? That was a brilliant day in the sunshine, right?
You had my tickets, didn't you?
It was. I did. I tell you what, honestly, Nigel, it was brilliant, right? Bowen score right in front of us. It was in the late August, 5:30 kickoff, sunshine. I had a great time. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah. So I've never. Do you know what? Every time I've gone there, we've been proper smashed and all beaten convincingly, and I've had to look at Malpie giving it to us and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And the one time we play well, I don't go. And do you know what happened to me when I went on holiday earlier on in the year? I can't remember who had my Arsenal. and I had my mates. I was in the middle of Paris, and people were going to me, sending me videos. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's typical, isn't it?
You said to me the week before we'll get turned over at Arsenal.
Of course, you know what? I'd already seen us win at Arsenal last year when Mav scored and all that. And I thought, I ain't going to happen again.
Oh, it did.
They'll go away. And it happens, and it's the same with Brighton. I thought, well, we've been smashed so many times. I'm gonna make a decision to go to Isle of Wight. So I went there and we beat them, and it's always the same. Do you know what I mean?
If it's any consolation, I've never seen West Ham lose at Brighton when I've been in the away end. If that's any consolation,
well, it's got to happen sometimes. It's 100% going to happen when I'm there, isn't it?
Of course.
Of course.
Kent says, I'm seriously worried about relegation next season because if I don't trust anyone to spend the transfer budget wisely after we get rid of our creativity. Yeah, it's dull.
What creativity is that?
True. Very true. It's been, honestly, the creativity has been sucked out of it. It's painful. Lean on the like button if you can, please, people. It helps the channel and might make you feel more cheerful. Well said, Mr. Terry Newsham. Absolutely, for sure. Andy, thanks for joining us. Hope you are well. I reckon 16 out, guys, at the moment, with 4 coming next season. Potts, Earthy, Cummings, and Conte. Is that Dominic Cummings, former chief advisor to Boris Johnson? He'll probably do a better job currently. At the moment, he could bring the deception and tease a few people into a false sense of security. I
do think George Earthy and Potts could break into the first team. I do believe that. I mean, we just got to give them the opportunity, and the best opportunity we can give them is to get them in there playing with some of them first team players pre-season. And look, next season, it's just, do you know what I mean? Give it a go. Yeah. What we got to lose? I mean, do you know what? I've watched these players for we was good. I mean, the season we won, we was in the Europa League and we got semi-final and we won the Europa Conference. We knew we was going to have to change it. But we sort of didn't. So they're done. That team's done. Yeah. That team, them players are done. We've got to improve somewhere along the line. We've got to get new blood in. And these young players, I mean, look, Scholes has broken the team now. He's not setting the world on fire in my eyes. He's doing all right. But at least he's in the first team. Do you know what I mean? He's growing as a player. Earthy, as at Bristol City, he's been fantastic. And like I say, so has Potts at Portsmouth. So let's just get them in the side. That's where, Deck come in the side. Didn't everyone? Do you remember when Deck first started? Exactly. Do you remember when he was all moaning because he ducked underneath for header? Do you remember he ducked underneath the header at the corner and everyone's going, "Oh, he ain't good enough." And then he just got put in that team and he grew and grew. And he turned into that player. Imagine if he had 2 of them like Deck. Do you know what I mean? They're coming for. Honestly, to be honest, at the moment we haven't got anything better ideas, and it don't sound like there's much money to spend in the summer to get better blood in. So I think it's what Potter's hand might be forced if he's still here by then. To be totally honest, we're missing a decent ground with a proper atmosphere. The bowl is like a morgue. I've seen louder morgues, to be honest. Again, that's another. It's not when we're winning though. Take yourself back to Seville.
Exactly.
And when we beat Seville, the place was unbelievable. And do you know what? When we beat Tottenham, and when we were doing well, and when we're doing well, the place is lively. But the majority of the time, we're crap. Yeah. And any ground is like that. We've all been to the Emirates. We've all been to Anfield. When there's nothing going on, those grounds are exactly the same. There's no difference. They're all the same when they ain't doing well. When they're 3-0 up or something like that, they're on fire, aren't they? It's not just the bowl. It's teams performing. When you've got a team performing, they're getting the crowd behind them and they're giving you something to cheer about, you're going to cheer. When it's miserable, when you're messing up, you ain't going to say nothing. You just sit there depressed, and that is what's happening.
Yeah, and it's just, reverberating around the whole place. This is quite good. Comment and then I go to Michael. James Ward-Prowse just walking pace.
He's good at walking football, isn't he, the geezer?
He is, yeah. James Ward-Prowse isn't a Premier League level midfielder in open play. When we got him back, listen, he has a good game here and there. I don't think, I've never rated him that much. He's the sort of player that you can have one of in your midfield, an average player. But then when you've got Souček there as well, that's another one that's just average. So we've got too many just average players that will pass the ball about with no pace and no creativity in the midfield, and that's cost us our demise in the midfield because we're just weak and feeble in those areas.
We bought him on the strength of the free kicks, Jake. We bought him on the strength of the set pieces.
He hasn't scored one.
Exactly. I'll get my camera out every time he goes step up.
No, he scored directly from a corner at Wolves away last year.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's what he was known for. That's why we bought him. Apart from that, even at Southampton, he wasn't a great player. He didn't pull up trees, but he scored a lot. People always said, "Oh yeah, he scored again. Free kicks, set pieces, corners, things like that." That's what he was. But he's not doing that. And when he's not scoring from set pieces, he's just a bang average player.
Yeah.
Guido Rodriguez. I mean, what's going on? I mean, the bloke's bang average, and
just get rid of him. Get him off the wage bill, right? Honestly,
Soler is a good player, but he's not. He's not a great player.
No, there are no.
He was a good player, but do you know what I mean? Kudos is a great player, but he's not doing it. He's not doing it for West Ham. If you don't fit in a team, some players just come to a team, right, and they just fit, and they're brilliant. Remember Payet when he came?
Yeah.
No one knew him, but when we signed him, he was like, "Oh, we got this new French guy." Look what happened, because he fitted into our team, and he adjusted to our way of football, and he was brilliant. No one wanted to, when Paolo came was, what are we buying him for? He hit the ref, blah, 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 is this, is that? Club legend. I mean, some players just come.
But then you've got to question the recruitment, because it's just a mismatch. It's just, you've got a completely disjointed squad there, full of maybe players and not quite players and not good enough players and maybe good enough players. And look, we could be here all night talking about it. I think we've got a rather large dissection to go through after the season and analyse and assess where we're going to be come the start of next season. Brighton away, 3-1 was awesome. I actually bought you a white coffee, not an espresso, Terry. Do you remember? You can shove your Starbucks in your Nescafe. I bought you a McDonald's white coffee. I think the 3 cost me about £6. Now we go in Greg's in Frankly Services. It cost me about 12 quid. Blimey. But look, at the end of the day, let's have a prediction for this game. Go on, hit me with it.
I think we're looking at conceding a few. I think they're going to score at least 3 goals. I think we might score 1. I'm going to say 3-1 Brighton. I don't want to say that, but I just can't see us get. Do you know what they've been saying? Oh, we've been playing bad, but you have to play when you've been on a bad run, don't you?
West Ham.
Exactly that. Every team's been on a bad run. Look at Leicester; they was on a bad run. Played us home, whacked 3 past us, and now crap, massively bad side, and but we're not good. I think that people are going to be looking at us next season and making us favourites for relegation. But on the flip side, say for instance we beat Brighton and then we beat Ipswich. Look who Tottenham have got to play, Liverpool and all that. They could end up 4th from bottom. There's only 1 point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this here, Mitoma versus Ben Johnston. I think I've got. I don't think I'll ever forget that. Nigel, you were in the away end. I was definitely not in the home end on the corner. I don't think that will ever leave my mind. That night,
I've never seen someone get stripped like he did that day.
I've never seen someone get roasted so much than Ben Johnston did that day.
He did get roasted, didn't he?
I think that is ingrained in my brain forever.
Every time you think of Ben Johnson, you think about that day he got roasted by Mitoma.
Yeah. It was honestly one of the most painful things I've ever had to sit through, and then I had to stand up and clap every time after Brighton scored. I remember
seeing you in that little bit in the tier up there. Yeah. I remember seeing you, but that was That was so. Do you remember when the ball sort of dropped over the top and he sort of just ball watched and watched it and the time he run onto it, and I was like, oh my God, it was so bad.
Yeah, that's a touchy moment, that was. But I'm gonna, contrary to everything we've just discussed in the last 30 minutes and 18 seconds, I am going to predict Brighton 1, West Ham United 2. I'm going to provide no explanation for it whatsoever because I don't have one. I've got no evidence to back that up, but I'm just going to go for it because football's a funny old game, as someone once said. I don't know why, I don't know how. Brighton 1, West Ham 2.
It's too funny lately. I ain't had a lot of laughs lately, to be honest with you.
I'll make you laugh Saturday, Nigel. Don't worry about that. I'll make you laugh.
Well, I think someone's going to cheer me. Honestly, mate, I honestly do. I'm not fancying, you know, I've got to go to Manchester and I'm like, do you know what? Why am I even bothering? That's how I feel at the moment. Most of the time I get a right buzz about going to football, but I just haven't had it. Do you know what I mean? I've just been going, like, it's been so flat. Even my attitude towards it has been so flat. And I think a lot of people, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of us that have been going for a lot of years, and we're sick and tired of this season. Absolutely, everyone just wants to get it out of the way.
It's just been a pure sense of apathy. You know, people are done with it. Whether you talk about the match day experience, whether you talk about the way football's going, we talk about just West Ham on the pitch at the moment. There's people that are sick to the back teeth of it, and honestly, I can't wait for the break. Nice couple of holidays, right? It's gonna be gorgeous, but we've got to get there yet. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to go. Jesus,
well, we're debating going to America.
Are you?
I was debating about it. I was thinking, do you know what? It might just be an holiday. So, you know, $181 a ticket is.
Is it?
That's quite a lot of money, isn't it?
Quite a lot of money. What, for the pre-season friendly?
Yeah.
Blimey.
You can go to New Jersey. So you fly into New York, go to New Jersey, then get on a plane to Chicago, then from Chicago get a plane to Atlanta. So
that just sounds like an awful lot of money, to be honest.
It's about $3,000.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of money.
You'd spend $3,000 if you went. I mean, when I went to New York for a week, we spent collectively between us, we done, I think, about $4,500 with the tickets and the plane and the spending money. So when you think you could go, do you know what I mean? It's not that bad.
Nigel's just spoke about half an hour about how he's fed up of football, but he's now going to go and fly to America to watch more West Ham.
It'd just be like a holiday, wouldn't it? With football thrown in.
Just like a sprinkling of football. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, we will leave it there, Nigel. I will see you on Saturday at the glorious Amex Stadium in the middle of a field. I look forward.
How are you? Are you going out with Dodsy in the fun bus?
Yeah, I am in the fun bus. Yeah. So
what will you do? Are you going to Brighton and then park in Brighton and go on the train?
I've got no idea. I'm not in control of such things. I will find out on Saturday and will alert you. But yes, I'll be keeping Mike under control, making sure he doesn't drink too much.
Is he coming?
Mike is coming, yes, if he gets over his illness. Yeah, so I will be keeping him under control, that is for sure. I kid you not, watching Nigel's moustache evolve over the season has been a highlight for me. Top tashing.
Yeah. Do you know what? It always looks much bigger when I haven't got wax in it. When I wax it, it goes all thin, but it's actually massive. When I look at it from distance, and people go, wow, look at that guy's moustache. I'll get kids pointing at me all the time and stuff.
Yeah, look at that funny idiot there.
That's exactly what they say. They go, look at that. When I start singing moustache songs.
No, they don't.
No, it's mental, isn't it?
Well, yeah, just everyone's got to be empathetic for me that I've got to walk around with it on Saturday. I've got to walk around everyone going,
you ain't got to walk around with it, Jake. Don't come off, Jake.
No, I know that.
Anyway,
I've got my own down here.
You're not man enough to grow one.
No, I've got my own. Look, I've got my own moustaches.
You should actually bring one of them and stand with me with that.
Should I bring one? Which one should I bring? Pick one. Pick one.
The handlebar one.
Well, where's that? I don't know what that is.
Well, you know, right? The one in the middle section. That one.
That one?
No, the one where your thumb is.
This one? Yeah, but that's ginger. I'm not ginger. I need one of these dark ones.
The black one.
This one?
Yeah.
Right, we'll have that one then. The party boy.
Get that on and we'll do a picture, a moustache picture of the ground, all right?
That could well be the highlight of Saturday, but There we are. I will get that ready for that. That will be a spectacle, if nothing else. There we go. Thank you very much indeed for watching our gloriously optimistic match preview for West Ham United versus Brighton. Nigel, I'll see you on Saturday for what is going to be an amazing, amazing game.
Amazing result, yeah, exactly that. Oh.
I will be moustached up, ready to go.
You've got to bring that, mate. You've got to bring that.
All right. Do you want a sausage roll whilst I it as well or not?
Yes, mate. I'll 100% have one of your Greg sausage rolls. They're very tasty, mate, then.
Okay.
When
they're not out of date.
Exactly. I want one that's in date, though.
Okay, I will see what I can do in terms of a Greg sausage roll. I can't confirm or deny whether I'll be able to get one or not, but I might forget.
That'll be your payment for the ticket.
Like, well, yeah, but hang on, I've paid you for the ticket.
Yeah, no, but it's a favour.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right, we go with that. Does that mean I haven't got to buy you a pint as well? Then, ideal.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get down there. I mean, I might actually. We'll see what happens by half time.
Yeah,
if we need one or not.
Exactly. I might be joining you. Right, from us, come on, you Lions, and we will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, and we'll see you Saturday. Bye bye.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Cheers, Nigel.